Welcome, everybody, to episode 8 of the Triathlon Preview Show. As always, we have myself and Emily joining us.
Hi, everybody.
So, Emily, give us a little information on this Zoot drawing that we had last week.
Yeah, so we drew Ian Graham as the winner, and he needs to message me on the TRS forum. Just send me a private message, Ian, so I can get you set up and get you some Zoot shoes. If we don't hear from you in the next few days, we're going to have to redraw next week. So, Ian, if you want your shoes, send me a message.
Yeah, Ian, sounds like you need to listen to the podcast again. We want to, make sure we celebrate all our daily, weekly listeners. So, also, just a little information. We have a new fantasy triathlon site up for TRS. It's fantasytriathlon.com. It's a separate site now. There is links on the TRS triathlon site that link to it. There are contests up for WTS, Chicago, and the Ironman World Championships. Big money games. Right now, there are no little money games. It's game time. These are the World Championships, so fork out that money and let's play some big time.
Yep, I got to do my. I have to do my Chicago lineup here soon.
So yeah, everybody listen. Check out Emily's picks, and then you can just copy her and take her money. So we have a couple of different races this weekend, varying distances. We got Ironman 70.3 Korea. Emily, give us some information about that race.
Yep. So it looks like the course is flat there. It's humid, so that'll definitely be a challenge for the athletes. We got a few good guys showing up. You got Frederick Kronberg, who's getting ready for Hawaii. You have Matty Troutman, who's there training with the Sutto team. So he's getting ready for Hawaii, coming back from a collarbone injury. So I bet you Sutto just wants to get him out on the race course. You also have Paul Amy, who a few years ago was really good. So he could be someone who would be dangerous. He's not getting ready for Kona or anything. And then also Mitch Robbins, an Australian who's done pretty well this year. The women's side, only 5 women. So I think you got to tip your cap to Mary Beth Ellis there. I'm sure it'll be just a good hard day in preparation for Kona out there for her.
Awesome. Yeah, so another Ironman 70.3 we have is in Lens. So give us some information on that race, Emily.
Yeah, so Lanzarote is kind of the opposite of Korea. It'll be hot like Korea, but it's hilly, windy, and we'll definitely throw out some challenges on the bike for the racers. You got Jody Swallow heading there. She crashed before Worlds and then pulled out of the race. So she wants to get a hit out before Hawaii. And then you also have Romain Guillaume. I think that's how you say his last name. He was 10th last year in Hawaii. He does a lot of training in Lanzarote, so he'll definitely know the island and the winds. He was 10th last year in Hawaii. I think I already said that. But anyway, he will be someone to look out for. You got Victor Del Corral, who's getting ready for Hawaii, I believe, and is a very strong runner. And then Will Clark, who's also on that UCLACE BMC team with Guillaume, strong swimmer. He was an ITU athlete, so he might be out there in the front and then have kind of people charging from behind.
Awesome. So let's switch courses a little bit. You can go with an Olympics. So we have the Beijing Triathlon. I think it's the same race production team as Escape from Alcatraz. Give us some information on that race, Emily.
Yeah, so IMG puts this race on, and it is a qualifier for Escape from Alcatraz for athletes who go over and do that. So the course is an Olympic distance. It's set up kind of like Alcatraz. There's a long run from the swim to T1. I think there's stairs involved and kind of obstacles. I don't want to say obstacles, but they make it unique. The bike is hilly. You go up to the highest point in Beijing, so it's a little climb up a hill, and then the 10K run has 600 steps in it. So they're trying to kind of like Escape from Alcatraz has the sand ladder. They're trying to kind of keep that same theme, I guess. They don't have exactly the sand ladder, but they incorporate some steps. It's not on the Great Wall of China or anything, but I'm sure it's challenging. The men, so they do an invite-only pro field, and the men they have over there are Josh Amberger, who's coming back from an injury. He did lead off the bike at Sunny Coast last week, but pulled out in the run. Greg Bennett, who is always dangerous. He just did well at High V. Eric Lagerstrom, who was your Escape from Alcatraz champion. Graham O'Grady, who always does Escape from Alcatraz. He's been, top 4 there several times. He's from New Zealand. He'll be strong. And then you got Matt Reed, who's been racing pretty well this year, especially on the run, and he flatted it out at Alcatraz. So he's probably looking for a little redemption. The women, you have Laura Bennett. She did well at High V last couple weeks ago. She was 3rd. Lauren Goss is over there. She told me she wants to win. You got Ricardo Lisk, who just is coming off a top 10 performance at Worlds. Felicity Sheedy Ryan, ITU athletes. So she'll be strong, swim and run. And her bike is pretty good too. She's done some non-drafting stuff. Caroline Steffen, who just won Sunny Coast. She'll be very strong. She's doing this race and then heading to Kona. Magali Tesser, 4th at Worlds, and then Radka Vadakova, who was just 3rd at Sunny Coast. So I actually think the women's race looks really, really solid. Nothing against the men, but it's just the women's seems really deep, and it kind of is all different women from all different distances. You got Caroline Steffen, who's mainly an Ironman athlete, down to kind of Lauren Goss, who does more Olympic distance stuff. So you kind of run the gamut there. So it'll definitely be a good race.
So let's say, how about pick a men's winner and a women's winner?
I think Eric Lagerstrom has been doing really well lately. I think, he's gotten better in his WTS races, like 18th and then 17th at Stockholm and Edmonton. And I think he's just competent and he loves to race, and I think the course will be good for him. It's not a pure speed course. There's a lot of strength involved in it, so I think he'll do well. On the women's side, I think it's going to be a battle between – I think Vadakova is going to lead out of the water, and I think it'll end up being a battle between Lauren Goss and Magali Tesser. It just depends on how Magali's bike is super strong. I think she's got that strength from the half Ironman distance. I think it's just going to come down to who has more speed on that run. So that's my call.
Awesome. So let's move over to the other part of the world, and let's go. We have Ironman 70.3 Cozumel. Give us a little information on that course, Emily.
Yeah, so it's a 1-loop swim in crystal clear blue waters, and there can definitely be some current and some wind that affect the swim. So it's not just an easy kind of poolish swim. So that could break up the field. It'll be non-wetsuit. The water's like 84. The bike is just 1.3 loops. So you do 1 loop and then kind of an out and back type thing. And it's on really good pavement. They've built a whole like kind of bike highway down there in Cozumel. It's exposed and windy. So those are your kind of challenges on the bike. And then the run is a 2-loop run, and it'll be hot and humid. So on the men's side, you have, people who are getting ready for Kona, like Victor Zemenstev, Mikey Weiss, Andy Broshier is getting ready for Kona. So those guys are looking for one last hit out. It's, get a little practice in the humid air. And then you have guys like Starkowitz, who's to me is hot and cold. He's either going to be really good and he's going to lead off the bike, or, he'll kind of be like he was at Worlds, just not there. Hopefully he had some training after Worlds and is feeling good. And then, you have people like Drew Scott, who kind of specializes in this distance and is a really strong cyclist. So look for him to be pushing the pace up front. Cody Beals, who's been training down in Houston. So he's someone to look out for. He's had some strong 70.3s. I don't think had the World's 70.3 performance he wanted. So maybe looking for a little redemption. And then also kind of hiding down there further down on the list is Taylor Reed, another super strong athlete. He didn't do great at Worlds either, but he's someone to look out for. He's super strong on the run, and if people start to fall apart in the heat, he could capitalize on that. The women's side gets a little bit we know Lauren Goss is not going to be there. She's in Beijing. Laura Wassner was just fourth at the Aquathon World Championships in Chicago, so it seems that she's probably not racing. Lauren Barnett just did well at World's ninth, so I definitely think she's a favorite for this race. Jackie has taken a bit of a break after a great race at Mont Tremblant, so not for sure if she's going to be there. You have Kate Bevilacqua, who did pretty well at Penticton, 70.3. She's kind of coming back from an ultra. She did the Ultraman, so she's kind of getting her speed back, I would say. And then you have Danielle Mack, who won Whistler, which was very cold, so this is quite the opposite. And she's someone who could definitely be a threat. She's a strong cyclist and a strong runner. And then you have Leslie Smith, who's been running her way onto podiums. She just ran onto the podium at Penticton, so look out for her on the run, especially in the heat. I think she'll do really well. So that's kind of a rundown. Just basically, you got people getting ready for Kona and people ready to just put out a good 70.3 and hopefully make some money and get some points for the World Championships next year. So that's it on the 70.3 side and for Beijing. And now we have a preview of the Chicago WTS with Matt Charbat. Thanks, everyone.